Matter of fact, never mind. I hope everybody's doing good today. I hope everybody's doing good. You know what I'm gonna say. Thank you for tuning in. I know you could have been anywhere else, but you here with me today. So we definitely gonna get into it. Thank you for tuning in to the Lethal Truth, where the truth shall set you free by any means necessary. Hey, it might set you free physically, depending on your situation, but it definitely can set you free mentally. But what's going on, y'all? How's everybody out there? Hit that like button. Hit that like button as soon as you come in. Oh my God. All right. Got 11 likes. All right. So you in here. Now, this is interesting because why I got 11 likes, but only see one person on live. You know what I'm saying? Yo, YouTube is just weird. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I was just watching the fight with Tank Davis. Um, oh man. I I ain't gonna lie, he got washed up. He got washed up. He tried to take that knee. I seen it. And then later on, he was talking about, oh, it's something that was in my eye from his hairdresser and all that. Nah, man. When you take a knee, that's already you already considered a knockdown. He knew that. You know how he knew that? Because as soon as he got to his knee, he turned around and went right to his corner. He know dude wasn't behind him because he took the knee. Come on, man. He know he was getting washed up. You gotta see it. That dude caught him like 3 times, bang, bang, bang. And he was like, he was kind of, shaking. He said, "No, I gotta take a knee." Hold on, y'all. Go. Yeah. So today, of course, I got hey, peace, me, have peace, peace. Yeah, it was a dope setup, man. John Banks, peace to everybody that tuned in. So I'm gonna get right into it. So I stumbled across some information pertaining to a group called the Black Legion. I never heard of this before, right? Now, they are a spinoff of the Ku Klux Klan. Now, normally you always hear about the Ku Klux Klan. You never hear about the Black Legion because they are a secret society, a white supremacist secret society. During the times of the Reconstruction era, we always had like a one up on them, although we didn't have our rights totally. What I mean is this: when when they liberated us, right, got us out of the chains, most of the whites that was working, or better yet, slave owners, they didn't have no skills. They didn't have no skills with their hands. They were just ordering people to do whatever they needed to do, which was us. They may have the blueprint that they ordered or bought from somebody or somebody brought to them, but they didn't have the skills to build nothing. We were the builders of the country. See what happens when you get so relaxed? You know what I'm saying? So by the time we was free, they didn't know how to build. But guess who did know how to build? It was us. So of course, during racism, of course, they wasn't trying to give us equal pay, but we was taking what we can because it was like coming into a whole new country with nothing. Because when they freed us, we ain't had nothing. We ain't had no house. We ain't had nothing. They told us, get head off the land, or if you stay, you're gonna have to work for next to nothing because I ain't got nothing to pay you. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But some of us was like, you know what I'm saying? And with that, damned if I don't. Because they left. They said, I'll figure it out. Shit, we figured it out so far. We didn't figure it out. So we was working for next to nothing in these steel mills, and we was good with our hands. So we was taking what they call all the jobs. It wasn't without that fact we was taking all the jobs. It was the fact that we was better equipped with the skill to do the work. They didn't white folks. One thing about white folks and racism, they'll be racist to you, but when they really need you, they put that racist stuff back on the back door. Just like in Vietnam, they put that to the back door. They don't say, "Get your hand off me, nigga." They say, "Come on, we're brothers and soldiers." You all of a sudden, you brothers. You know what I'm saying? When them big ass shells is coming at you, all of a sudden, you brothers. So the Klan, they started it. I'm not really going to get into their history because it's a little long why they started it, how they broke down the name from a Greek because of course they're Europeans. You know what I'm saying? So they always take their history from the Greek from the Greek history or Greek language because everything in English is referred to Latin, referred to either Rome or Greece. So they know their history. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, they started the Ku Klux Klan. Of course, they wanted to do outright terror. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to put it out in the front street that they can kill us and get away with it and lynch us. They was, most of them was pretty much, I'm not gonna say all of them was white trash, but pretty much some of them was white trash because they didn't have the skill. They was just upset with us. And it wasn't just the fact most of the time it was our skin complexion. It was the fact that they was using the propaganda to say that we were stealing all the jobs. Sounds familiar today? I. So you know what I'm saying? So we worked next for nothing because we didn't have the rights. So of course, some of the clan members felt, you know, the clan that they're with, the clan members, and what they weren't on the same page because they got big and got strong and got together because it was based on hatred and based on the disadvantages of white America once we was free. But they always had a separation between them. They always had the rich and the poor. Even today, middle class, what they call middle class, don't hang around poor white people. Excuse me. I don't know. Every time I get up here, I start getting a little dehydrated. So they decided, which a lot of them was like politicians, judges, and stuff like that. They was like, listen, we can't deal with these messy whites here. They doing what they supposed to do. We could utilize them for their terrorism against the people of color and foreigners, so-called foreigners of the country. But we got careers. We can't put it out there because everybody at that time in them offices and so forth, they pretty much wasn't too racist. I mean, they didn't want to go against the grain, but a lot of them wasn't racist. They were just forced into a situation, and that's how it was back then. This is why I'm also bringing it up like this because most people would think that a big gallon of water, so I know you're about to go in and yo, I always fill it up and put it out on my balcony. I don't even need the refrigerator. It just freezes it up. So, what was that? Yes. So, like I said, they wanted to separate from the Ku Klux Klan. They wanted to start their own thing. Like I said, they had careers. And and the people that they was around, they all wasn't prejudiced. They all wasn't racist. You know what I'm saying? So something had to give. They needed to do something more quiet. So they started and after the Civil War, around in the 1920s, they started what was called the Black Legion. Now, the Black Legions, they wear black hoods. They do not wear the white hoods, and they have the crossbone. If you know about skull and bones, then you know about this crossbone. They have the skull with the crossbones under, in the hood, in the middle of the in the middle of their chest, where their heart is at. And their job was to work in secrecy. So they would terrorize blacks, they would terrorize union workers, they would manipulate other whites who felt that we was taking all their jobs. Because, like I said, this country, the rich and the powerful, yeah, they racist, but they rather deal with their building of their nation before they use something so petty such as skin color to hinder them from their growth. You know what I'm saying? They needed us. So they wasn't trying to hear all of that. So they was like, listen, we're gonna hire these people to build what we need to build. We don't care. But poor whites didn't like that. So they used this propaganda and they was going to other whites that wasn't even what I would say, they wasn't even tough. They really wasn't the type of people that would go out and kill, but they was using their anger against us. So they will work somewhere and they say, hey, listen, don't you get tired of these people, these niggas coming over here, getting the jobs ahead of us, we getting overlooked with foreigners because you had other whites that was coming over getting their jobs. You had other people from like China. They're gonna act like they wasn't over here too. So they was getting all the jobs. So they was using this propaganda like they do today. Sounds familiar? They taking all the jobs, taking all the jobs. So whites that wasn't really killers, they joined. And sometimes you got tapped in. For example, white guys working at a steel mill somewhere, and he'll tap his co-worker and say, yo, listen, I want you to take a ride with me. First, you use the propaganda on him to see, okay, he don't like blacks too much. Okay, cool. And then he will take him to a meeting. And in this meeting, he'll be surrounded by Black Legion members. And they would tell him to get on his knees and they would ask him, are you a pure white American citizen? His answer, of course, would be yes. Are you an honest Christian? You know, they like to always throw Christianity in it. I don't understand that. How you love Christianity, but you burning the cross. Does that make any sense to you? But this is the hatred they got us so confused. So, of course, they would say, yes, I'm a Christian. And they say, okay, do you feel that the people, our people in this country should be united with niggers and foreigners? Of course not. So okay. Now he would ask him this, and then they would do a pledge with a loaded gun to his head. Loaded. Because see, what they was doing, see, the Black Legion, I'm gonna get back to that. The Black Legion was started by William Shepard. He was a union worker. He was upset that, foreigners and other blacks was taking his job. He was upset. Not just his job because he wanted to be a foreman, but other whites that he was cool with saw them getting overlooked. And he was pissed off. So this is why he also started the Black Legion and he spun off from the KKK. Now, a man named Ivan Burt Evergrare, he decided to transform it into a paramilitary unit because he was in he was in the Civil War. Most of these cats that was in the Ku Klux Klan and now in the Black Legion was part of the military. So he wanted to shape it as a paramilitary unit, a paramilitary nation. Yo, he was crazy with it. So let me get back to this pledge. Let me get back to this guy. So they had this pledge while he has the gun to his head, right? And he would say these words. Uh oh no, excuse me. Get to it. I'm gonna get to it. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry, I didn't write it down. Yeah, there's an oath to it. I didn't write it down. No, I wrote down what they actually was asked for three things. Excuse me. It was, are you a native born white Gentile Protestant citizen? You know they mentioned Gentile because in the Bible that's what they talk about is Gentiles. They say they talk about Jews, but they say Israelites. So we know who that is. Then they mention Gentiles. Gentiles it means Caucasian in the dictionary. Go ahead, check it out. The Bible is it. You see why I told you when you were in slavery and you start preaching, the master always sit on the plantation and watch you preach and listen because he knows what's in the book. You don't know. That's why even in church to this day, if you want to become a preacher and you go through their school of I would call it deathology, right? Because it really doesn't give you no life. But their school of theology, you have to practice and teach and preach what they give you. You cannot go off course or you would get fired. That's why when they go to church, they be dumb as a doornail. Not all of them, but some of them. They dumb as a doornail. But look, anyway, the second one is, do you understand that this organization you're about to join is strictly secret and military in character? Military. Why? Because see, this dude, when he turned it into a paramilitary unit, he had lieutenants, he had corporals, he had sergeants, and he had the field agents, well, the field members. And everybody will use a different tactic. No, excuse me, not different tactic, but there will be certain people in a unit that he would pick and name to do terrorist tactics. You would have those that deals in the politics because what they wanted to do is they wanted to infiltrate the police departments, the judges, and the lawyers. This is how they began to shape policy that caused us to be at disadvantage. So anyway, after you say this oath, they give you a bullet and they tell you, you can get this bullet and this bullet belongs to this gun. And if you violate our order, you would get the other half, which is this gun. So you couldn't say nothing. This was in secret. So you had a man named George March, and he had a storefront. He was doing good business in the black community. And he was doing well than others in the black community. And it caused whites to be concerned because they saw him outselling them. They saw him becoming successful, and they saw him as a potential brother that can open the doors for other people like himself. This is a threat. You see what 50 said about Diddy when he said, you know what? When I was with Diego, I was making him like 60 million a year. But the problem is in this corporate America, they don't want black people to own nothing. It's a disadvantage. You can get money with us, but you can't own nothing. Because when you own something, then you're gonna call your peoples who has trillions of dollars in their black community. You know, one of the things I'm gonna bring up with this crooked cop, right, in the 75th precinct, he says something. He said, forget Beverly Hills and forget Las Vegas. He said the ghetto is the richest place in the country. I said, yeah, man, I already knew that. But then as I started to think more of it, think about it. What other community that you can go outside and see everybody on the block selling something? The stores are so bunched up together, everybody's selling something. Then you look outside on the sidewalk, everybody's selling soap. There's money everywhere in the ghetto. You can find anything and everything in the ghetto. As long as you find the right person, we the richest people. We just don't know what to do with our money. But you go in other communities, you don't see that. Maybe, oh, okay, my bad. You'll see Chinatown. I can't forget about Chinatown. But they ain't even making more money than us out there. We just mishandling our money. You know what I'm saying? So this guy, George March, they pulled him out of his house and in front of his wife and children, like Emmett Till, pulled him out of the house. And when they found him in the woods. He was shot one time in the chest. His skull was bashed in, and his hands was tied with barbed wires. Right? They left him there to die. This was to send a message to the black community that they don't want no black people to be successful. This was the message. And they always did it in secret. They didn't hold marches. They don't do that. Not like the white sheets. They don't do that. Their whole job is to move in secret. Their whole job is to call themselves a shadow army. So now when they found George March and it was supposed to be an investigation, there was no investigation. A case was closed before an investigation was even thought of. Why? Because they had Black Legion members all up in the police department. See, case was already closed. This was their job. As a matter of fact, one third of the police departments on the West Coast, because it started in Ohio, in the Midwest that they controlled at this time, one third of the police departments they controlled. Can you imagine that? Don't it sound familiar to you today? How we get killed by police? And all of a sudden, the investigation is all wrapped up. They holding the body cams. This is all Black Legion thing. This is all Black Legion thing. You know, Black Legion, they also they also came to a head in 1936. Hey Shema. Yeah, John Banks, thank you. Yeah, that's good information. That's right, teach, brother. I'm just talking, man. But I found this so interesting because I never heard of the Black Legion. That's how quiet it is. And it made me think, why are you holding this so quiet? Why is it not in the history? You got the KKK everywhere. Why not the Black Legion? Because they're still active. Although in 1936 it came to a head where this man named uh, Dayton Dean, in 1936 in May, he killed a white guy named Charles Poole, who was very much connected. So it brought the heat down because not only they killed their own, but they killed someone who was well connected. So a lot of other people that was politicians now, they wasn't feeling that. So they came after the Black Legion. And they got the guy, Dayton Dean, and he revealed everything that I'm telling you. And this caused people to go crazy in the government. Hit that like button, yes, please. This caused people to go crazy in the government because they had no clue that this was going on. Yeah, they knew it was racism, they knew it was KKK, but they didn't know about this paramilitary army because these dudes is infiltrating the Constitution. Sounds like Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And this is what they did. Nothing has changed. You look at them right now in the police departments. How many of them is going down? The only reason why most of them now is going down is because we're getting a little bit more stronger. We're unifying a little bit more. Some of the people that's in the hood, you know, I read something in the Bible where it was Moses and God told him you have to walk for 40 days and 40 nights. Many people think that it actually means 40 days and 40 nights, but they forget that 85% of the Bible is parables. So it can mean 40 days, 40 nights, 40 million years, 40 million nights. In other words, what God was trying to tell Moses is these people have to die out for the new ones to come, for your people to be free. So a lot of these people from that time in the civil rights movement who wanted to integrate with that madness, they had to die out, man. And now you got us today. We ain't tolerating that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, now they get into the law enforcement. And in 19 was 80 and well, let's say the 80s, crack hit hard, right? And a lot of these cops, they hold on, my bully running around here. A lot of these cops, they they don't really have that much education to take them far. Not being prejudiced against them or nothing like that, because you got the rich whites that want to keep them at a certain level to keep us at a certain level because they don't want to get their hands dirty. So these whites, they get into the precinct. They don't have that much experience in the black community. And when they eventually do get into the precinct, if they are told that you have to be a good cop, right? See, this is the blue wall. This is where the racism comes from. This is where the Black Legion tactics and mindset still continues. You understand what I'm saying? Just because you don't see the name, don't mean it exists. You don't see COINTELPRO putting their names out all on TV on the news, right? But you see they tactics where they're gathering up all these gangbangers and making them snitch on each other, right? See, there you go. The tactics is still here. Black Legion ain't go nowhere. The judges, the lawyers, the police, they all still up in there. They are the ones who shaping the policy in America. Then they just declare war on all the migrants, taking all the jobs. See, ain't nothing changed. The tactic is still there. You wanted to get a bully too that looks like, yeah, because I'm about to when she get like 6 months, I'm gonna have a mate with my man dog. He has a pit bull. So when you make them together, they become an XL bully, which is twice as big as a pit bull. I mean, you ever seen them pits with them big heads? Yeah, that's the bully. And them things, man, yo, them things is big, man. But so they get to these people and they told they have to be good cops, right? And it said when you get in the precinct, you're gonna be either a good cop or the bad cop. And I remember at one time I was speaking to a black officer in the police department, 77 precinct. He was with the 100, what's that, the 100 blacks, the 100 black cops. And he was saying it's two kinds in the department. You have the black and you have the white. He was telling me, he said, yo, don't think that when they kill us out there, it don't be no gangster shit going on in the locker room. He said, yo, we be fighting. We be in the parking lot fighting. Yeah, they be getting it on, but you have to understand, and it made me understand them a little bit better when I do this research. Because when you get into the police department, of course, the whites is going to side with the whites. So they say you have to be a good cop overall, which means whether we like each other or not, whatever you do, I got to hold you down. So if you're doing something illegal, I have to hold you down, which means I'm a good cop. So when I'm in the precinct now, and all the fellow officers is talking about me, you go, nah, he's a good cop. They already know what that means. Now, if you say he's a bad cop, you're going to have a hard time at the police department that you work at. Nobody's going to deal with you. Yes, this country is wild. Nobody's going to deal with you. And this is why it made me understand more when they killed George Floyd, why the other officers who were rookies were standing there watching their sergeant, their supervisor on the scene do what he did. And they couldn't do nothing about it because in their mind, they like, listen, I just got this job. I ain't got nothing else going on in my life. I'm probably living with their mother. They're broke. They're like, what I'm gonna do? Like, I'm caught in they're caught in between. They don't want to pull and grab their superior off. Their superior, not their partner. Their superior off of Floyd, because now let's say Floyd lives. Now, how his life is going to turn out. See what I'm saying? And yeah, George Floyd might be alive today, but guess what? Floyd wouldn't care about homeboy life. So he had to make a decision for him what was best for him and his family. So he decided to be a good cop. And now he's in jail because he was a good cop. Because that's Black Legion tactics. And that fascist that killed George Floyd, we knew he was racist. You ain't got to be no Klan member, no Black Legion to do that. So in the 77th precinct, in the 75th, the crack era in Brooklyn was hard. It was whew, man. Hold on, y'all. It was man, it was I don't know if y'all was around that time. I mean, I was a kid too, but I seen it. Like you couldn't even tell you couldn't even tell who the boss was. Because everybody had tons of gold on and all kind of money. You can tell. You know what I'm saying? So in the 75th, it was this guy named Mike Dow. And they were all racist. And he said that he pulled a Spanish guy. They used to call it a Puerto Rican mystery back then when they didn't have no ID or anything. Because most of the times when they stopped people that was Spanish speaking descent, 9 out of 10, they were Puerto Ricans. Now you can tell. They were Puerto Ricans. So this guy, he didn't have no paperwork on him. He didn't have no ID. The car didn't have no license, no nothing. Back in the 80s, it's different. You didn't have to, you didn't even have to drive with a seatbelt on. It was required, but it was not a big thing like now. So the guy had a bag of money in it. So he said, I'm looking at this. He don't call him, I don't want to say the derogatory name they call Spanish speaking people, you know, and I would say because yeah, they call us niggas. We say it. They say I'm looking at. He said I'm looking at this spick because that's what they used to call him back then. And he's like, I'm gonna get this money. It was tempting. He said. He said, you know what? Me and my partner, we like a lobster dinner. The guy peeled off 1,500 and gave it to him. He said, listen. So, but actually, excuse me, not his partner. He was by himself. And he said to himself on his first time. That was his first time. And he said, him getting a taste of that 1,500 opened the door for a whole lot. He realized he didn't want to get patrolled in his community because there's really no crime, it's no money, it's nothing. It's a dead community in the white community. This is what he's saying. I'm not saying it. He says that it's dead in the white community. He said, but in the black community, he said they're killing themselves, they're animals, they're junkies. This is how he's talking. He's talking that Black Legion stuff because this is all in the precinct. This is the mindset because it's been passed down from generations. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to paint it just an organization. I'm painting it as a mindset, how it's been passed down. You ain't got to be no Klan member to put a hood on. You know what I'm saying? Now we look at the Klan as the police. That's why every time we see them, we on point. You know what I'm saying? Because we already know this is our natural enemy. We look at the brothers and sisters a little bit more different because we know they live in a community, but sometimes we can't even trust them. But anyway, he got this money and he decided that he wanted to prey on black people in the 75th. So he was knocking down drug dealer doors, he was getting informants, and then it came to the point that he started having drug dealers sell for him. Look at this now, right? So in the precinct, a lot of them knew that he was a crooked cop. This is the 75th precinct. A lot of them knew he was a crooked cop. A lot of them knew he was racist. Some of them was racist, right? but they didn't want to deal with him because although they was crooked themselves, he was taking it way beyond. Like he was just doing things like he didn't have a badge. Like he actually said it himself. He said, "Yo, I wasn't really a cop. I was more of a criminal than a cop." Right. So he get this guy in the precinct, this young rookie, and the rookie name is uh Ken You All, right? Call him Chicky. And he told him, "Yo, be my, I want you to be my partner." And he's like, "Okay, fine." Guys was pressing him like, "Yo, don't do it. This dude is just off the hook. Like he has no chill pill." Look, I'm gonna tell you some story about this. A story about this dude. He said, "All right, I'm gonna still mess with the dude anyway." So their partners, he telling the guy, "Yo, listen, these niggas got a whole lot of money. Or you can make a whole salary just eating off of niggas." This is what he's saying. Remember, I told you. Now the person I said forget about Las Vegas and everything, and the black community got more money. This is his partner said that. White guy that works in the black community as a cop. He's letting us know we have more money than Las Vegas. God damn. Right? So he gets with them. They start doing their little criminal activities. So at this time now, Michael Dodd, he's deep in it. This is the 75th precinct. He's deep in it. So now here's one story before I move on. So they get a uh they get a bus, right? And look at this, man. They get a bus and Mike is there. So they got a whole bag of money. He said, I don't know. He said back then how drug dealers used to wrap their money up in the rubber bands. They used to stack it up as 1,000 stacks, which was true. So he said, I just seen a whole bunch of 1,000 stacks. He said it was a big laundry bag filled to the top full of money. So he tells the people on the scene, I forgot what he called them. He said, listen, you don't need to do all of this because you got to do paperwork, inventory. He beat them in the head to the point where he said, just put the money back and we'll come back and get it later. We're going to lock up the apartment. They fell for it. He's like, beautiful. He goes outside now. In the meantime, his partner is no longer his partner around this time. Excuse me. He's no longer partner. I think he was retired or something. No, actually, he was off that day. Excuse me. He was off that day. And he was with another female, Michael Dog. So now he picks up the phone. No, excuse me. As he gets in the house, prior to telling the officer to leave the money, he takes like 6, 7 thousand stuffs in his pocket. He can't take the whole bag because he said these cops everywhere. They already know he's dirty, so he can't do it. So he's calling his partner like, "Yo, listen, I need you to come over here and come get the bag of money so we can split it." So he's like, "Yo, how the hell I'm going to do that? It's my day off. I can't go over there and I don't have my uniform." He said, "Don't worry about it. Just dress like a plainclothes officer. I'm riding around with the other officer." He's riding around like he said he's riding around for like 30 minutes, but he's trying to make sure nobody could go into that apartment. I guess they was on a first floor, I'm assuming, or a house. I don't know. But that's what he's saying, right? So Chicky gets there. He says he goes to the landlord, knocks on the door, pulls out the shield, and tells him, "Yo, listen, I need to go up there and get the evidence." They see the shield. They don't know the difference between a detective shield. He's like, "Okay, open the door." They get the bag of money. They have 50 racks in there. I see, yo, man. I see, yo, these corrupt cops. So in the meantime, in the process of all of that, they got black drug dealers working for them. And their thing is, we'll protect you, but you have to keep the drugs in the black community. Check that out. So that was their job. The brothers who were selling, they had to keep the drug in the black community, which was impossible because you had white people coming to the black community to get drugs. So back to me. So they were taking it back to their community. But that's what was going on. So in the same time of this, they had something called the Hardy Boys in the 77 precinct. These dudes was off the chain. All these dudes was damn near racist, right? Yeah, I know. Damn shame. You can't even trust these cops, right? And they do that. They do that. I'm gonna get to some more stuff dealing with me, right? So, um, in the 77 precinct, they had something called the Hardy Boys. I heard about it growing up. And I'm from Crown Heights, so this is how I was able to hear a little bit more about them. Where they had this dude named Jake the Snake and Mike Paul. I would say allegedly them two. Definitely everybody knew about them. They was crooked. You know what I'm saying? Though they didn't get caught, but the Hardy Boys that was a part of that precinct got caught. Look what they was doing. They would get their informants, right? And they will find out where the stash spot at, where's the drugs is at the trap house. They will go to the fire department to see it was different back then. It was easy. Tell the fire department we needed some ladders. Take the ladders and get the axes and and use the ladders to break into the trap house and steal the drugs and the money. Take the drugs, keep the money, take the drugs, of course, and give it to their black workers who act like they kingpins in the hood. So the kingpins was working for the police. I don't know what kingpins. I didn't. He didn't say. You know. Um. Then and then the 77 precinct they got caught up. The feds came and swiped them up. Now it was a big thing. I remember it was on the front page everywhere. Right. Got black drug dealers selling drugs in the black community and everything. They was a part of that, but they were just more nasty and reckless, right? Because they was actually harming people. You know what I'm saying? They was killing people. They was getting people killed. Black people, white cops, selling drugs in our community, robbing us of our drugs and giving it back to us to sell to us. But as long as we keep it out of the white community. This is the mindset. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Yes, please. Found my eyes watered. My allergies kicking in. So when that happened, the 75th precinct was in an uproar. They was scared. They was afraid the indictments was going to come towards them because they know it was just a matter of time. Because two birds in a feather flock together. Everybody know who's corrupted on the street. Just like every precinct know who's some corrupted officers. It's a small world. So they knew it was coming. Some decided to quit. On the 75th, Michael Dodd said a whole lot of them was quitting. They didn't want to be a part of it. It was like, yo, we out of here. But Mike and his people, they felt like, nah, we good because they wasn't getting caught. But eventually they did get caught. Michael did get caught. And his co-defendant, his partner, told on him. Ain't that something? See, this is why I don't play that game with cops and corrupt excuse me. I don't play that game with cops and street things. I don't do that because you are double dutching here. You're playing both sides of this bench, which means to me you have no rules. All that's you snitching or no. The only time police say, "Oh, you's a snitch," is when a cop snitch on another cop. When it comes to us, they don't play by that rules. They got a whole nother world. You know what I'm saying? A whole nother world, a whole nother corrupt world. They even have this mindset upstate New York, right? These correctional officers. Hey, they always want to bring it to our community. Yes, they always want to bring it to our community, Monica. And you know why? Because we make more money than anybody. And we earn more money than anybody. Even in our disadvantage. Look at us today. And we still kicking ass. They can't even figure it out. And we doing this while killing each other. You know what I'm saying? We doing this while killing each other. They're afraid. They like, how the hell are they doing that? Nobody is doing what we doing while killing ourselves daily, all day, every day, even on your birthday. And we still here, kicking ass. So the white correctional officers, now this is on in the precinct. This is, well, excuse me, before I get to the correctional, this is going on in the precinct. This is mostly a lot of other precincts because, see, you got a lot of these Caucasian officers, right? Police officers. Like I said, they graduate, they don't have nothing else to do. They live in these quiet Ozone Park neighborhoods or Bensonhurst neighborhoods. They have nothing there. They have no clue to go to college. They ain't got no money to go to college. So they become police officers or correctional officers because all you have to do is take a multiple choice question test. So these white officers, they hear about us. They don't have really black friends unless they was in their school because they ain't coming to our school. So they stay in their community. So they may have one or two black friends, Paul and Alfred. You know what I'm saying? And they figure they have some black people that they know or associate themselves with, or maybe not. But they figure they got black people figured out, or maybe some of them don't. So when they get to our community, they already have this perception of us. They already have this image of us because they see us in the movies being portrayed as Nino Brown. Every goddamn movie is Nino Brown, especially in the black exploitation movies. Everybody was a drug dealer, a pimp, a hoe, a kung fu Joe, or some other craziness that gave us derogatory images. Even during the 80s, everything was drug dealer movies. Then you had the gangster rap. So we had this image that we gave to white America that didn't know us. So they already got this picture of us as animals. Then the news is talking about all the drive-bys. And so when they get to the black community as officers, they like this. I'm out here with the niggas now. And then we riding around all crazy. They like, see, this is the shit I saw. They scared. Hold on, man. Let me see what Monica said. They put it all for all the fast foods in our area, liquor stores. You don't see them in the community. They hardly get tickets. When they don't move their cars, when it's alternate parking. Yes. Yeah. Speaking of that, you see how many of them was driving around with those ghost plates? It was a whole lot of them getting caught with the ghost plates. It was more of them getting caught with the ghost plates than us. I ain't hear the repercussions on the news, but you hear our repercussions. Ain't that something? But like I was saying, so these white folks, they come into the community and they see us, and it's a perfect place too. Brownsville. Every time I go down Rockaway, no, not Rockaway, Mother Gaston. Every time I go down Mother Gaston, y'all already know. If you know about Brownsville, Mother Gaston, you know around. I forgot what actually street it is, but they keep the police on the corner all day, all night. I used to come back from party and driving 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and the police be out there on like this, freezing. But that's your post. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they keep them out there, so they get scared when they see us. They hear about us shooting cops. They're already hearing it in roll call. They're hearing it from these racist other officers, which makes them now racist. Something like the hate you give or the hate you gave, right? They don't know their prejudice until something happens and shows their racism. Some of them are just racism out in the open, and some of them, or petty, and most of them don't even know they're racist, but doing racist shit because they was raised that way. And they think it's okay. So when they see us and they pull us over, the first thing they do is they scared. They like, damn, they got me in Brownsville. You got me in East New York. You got me in the Bronx. You got me around either more projects. I'm scared to that. I'm scared to death. I mean, they hearing gunshots. This is not their community. So this racism in their mind, and then they get this badge, they feel like they could do whatever they want, especially if they've been on, especially if they're like a senior officer and they've been doing dirt. Because like the Black Legion, when you get brought in, you have to put in work like a gangbanger. Yes. That's their motto. You have to kill a black, whether it's a woman or man. They ain't talking about no rape. They said murder. They was killing kids and everything, burn the whole family down in the house. But back to these scared white folks on the cop force. Oh man, my eyes is pouring. I know my eye gonna be red by the time I finish. Uh yeah, good, great content. I see you, man. Thanks for sharing dope information. You welcome, brother. So so you make the wrong move, boom, because they scared. Like the Asian cop in Howard Projects years ago. He got a disturbance call. He's in the hallway. Why he got his gun out? He's scared to death. You ever been in Howard Projects hallway? Late at night? He's scared to death. That's the only projects in Brooklyn with no cameras in. He's like this in the hallway with his gun. As soon as he see a movement, bang, he's scared to death. He kills someone. He killed the wrong person. Person ain't had nothing to do with it. But then he goes to court and then Black Legion plays a part. His murder case became time served 6 months. Who the hell gets time served 6 months for a murder? See what I'm saying? Ain't nothing changed. We at war. Let me show you something. Ah, man. Let me show you something. And just because we at war and the police is doing all this, don't think that we just sitting around and we ain't doing shit. Don't think, oh, we making moves, we 24-hour strike. Shut up. And I'm not talking about you shut up directly. I'm just saying in general, shut up. Because that's a holiday. That's like a Martin Luther King or President's Day. They all they have to do is close down, open up the next day, and you give them all their money. You know what that tactic was? Remember I told you about the boulets and how they keep black people in check and to control our anger? What they do is they practice it smart. Didn't that perm hair guy, Al Sharpton, just walk through Costco's with a bunch of black people and made it and showed it on the news, letting his former slave masters know, like, I got the niggas in check, control their anger. So now we figured we doing something. We ain't doing shit. So what? You ain't buying nothing for one day. He did that before. Strike for one day. I know. I think it was Jesse Jackson that actually did that. Right? Hold on, y'all. Oh no, I got one. I'm tired of doing this. I got it. Yeah, my eyes pouring, man. So they get these cases after killing us. And of course, it gets into the mindset of the behavior of the Black Legion that's in office because that was their whole setup. They wanted people in high places. They talked about in 1936 how the guy killed this white dude and everything got uncovered, but they never said what happened to Black Legion. They just said they disappeared. Ain't nothing just disappeared. They still here. Don't Skull and Bones got the same crossbone and skull as a symbol 322? Come on now, talk to me. They still here. Our enemies are still working against us. But now look, let me show you how the mindset is. This is a police, right? You remember in Lincoln Heights, Connecticut, Ohio, when the Nazis was out there and they was out there protesting? I don't know what they thought. Hey, racism out there. This is not the 60s. That shit is not gonna fly today. Look what they did. Look at the police officer. Look. Just take switch that shirt off and you can get my car. Cool, thank you. And then I got in the driver's seat of the car and don't bite me thing. No. Make sure you got your keys. Hey, yeah, I got. Are you guys done? Yeah, we're done. Hey, helping him out. Remember out. Yeah, we're gone. Let's go grab it. That's police helping them out. Because when they was out there marching and all that, to my nigga this and nigga that, the brothers and sisters, they came up in there with their bats and all that. They wasn't trying to hear that. They was like, oh, word? Like homeboy threw the hat in the air. They was ready to rock out. You know what I'm saying? And the police came. I had another video, but I didn't want to go too much with the phone too much. But I had another video where the officers was trying to put us at bay. And we was like, no, we'll fuck them up. And if you stop us, we fucking you up too. I was like, oh, I love this, right? I love that. And they chased them Nazis up out of there. It's a new day. You got the Israelites, they got an army. The NOI, they got an army. You got all the gangbangers. Once they unify as army. Now look at this. I know y'all heard of them. The Black Militia. Stone Mountain Park. Of course, that's where, of course, there's this huge. I hope y'all hear it. Of these Confederates. The militia calls itself not the Not Fucking Around Coalition. Not Fucking Around Coalition. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Yeah, I can't hold this up too long. I'm getting up there. Tremors in the hand. But yeah, so the Black Militia is out there. They're not playing. They got guns. They think it's called not fucking around. And these is hardworking people. They ain't in the streets and they all licensed to carry. Straight up. They letting it be known when the war come, they here. But they're not gonna show that to us. They want to show us killing each other on TV. Oh no. We got armies ready, man. Because it's a war. So What makes it even worse in the law enforcement, like I said, dealing with these white officers who is in the black community and it's killing us just for or based off racism, based on just being afraid and scared to death and don't know what to do. And the corrections upstate New York is it's so bad, it's worse, right? Because of course when they get hired, the thing is they don't want to go to work in Sing Sing because Sing Sing is like it's like Sing Sing and downstate is like a training camp and it's predominantly ran and controlled by blacks. Well, let me rectify that. It's pretty much predominant down there as correction officers are black people, but white people always control DOC. Let's not forget that. Right? You know what I'm saying? So these officers, when they get up in there, first of all, when they out there in the farms, they don't have no black friends. They don't like niggas. Up there is straight racist. Don't get me wrong, you have certain areas in upstate New York where it's not racist. They're a little bit multiracial up there, but there's a lot of other communities, but predominantly white communities that are just straight racist towards us. So they become these correctional officers, right? And when they get in there, they told to stay with your own. And we're animals, and we can't be trusted. We're just there to control and make them money. That's all they see us as animals. Okay. So when they come in there, they already have this perception. And a lot of them is punks. So they get this correction officer badge, like the police badge, and they feel it gives them the control or the authority to take advantage of us and harm us and beat us and kill us like they did Robert Brooks. See, in DOC, they have all these racist cops. They have what is called a beat 'em up squad, right? And they don't want to work the blocks. They just want to work as running to houses or dorms that has red alarms so they could go beat up some niggas or kill some niggas. And that's what they did to Robert Brooks. That brother was not even in that jail. He was on a transfer. He was going from one jail to another jail. He was just there as a holdover. How the hell you killing him? Did you see that video? Did you see that video? That video was off the chain, but that didn't shock me. I got beaten like that. And they had me in a chains for 3 days. I told my wife about that story. She was just like, "What?" So what they did was they didn't lock the cuffs and they didn't lock the leg irons. So if I was laying down and I rolled over, and once it's numb, you're on your own. You probably could lose your arm because there's no blood circulating. And they didn't feed me, but this is what they do because they feel like you can't have access to contact anybody. Not only that, they use force because not only they just want to destroy you as a black person, but they want to use you to get more financial gain. In other words, they will harm themselves. After beating you up, they do like Trump. They'll cut themselves and just say, "You cut them. Look, you cut them." It's their word against yours. Now you got a new charge, right? You got a new charge. You in the box. You got about probably 7 years because you cut an officer, not a regular inmate. Regular inmate, you probably got a year or two. But for an officer, you're gonna get like 8 years in the box. He gets comp with pay. Now, if you get a lawsuit or if you get some life insurance, they can freeze it and call him under the Son of Sam law and say, "Hey, you're running into some money." I know because they did it to me. I didn't know about it. I thought it was for the serial killers. They revised it. I didn't know. They make money off us. Their community don't have shit. Every time you drive somewhere about every 15 miles, you may smell some cow shit somewhere. They don't have a community. They don't have a Coney Island. They have a little fear. So they need prison to fund their community. They need us in prison to build up the census because when the census come every 10 years, everybody that's in the prison is counted in their community or as of their community that's attached to their community, not where you live at originally. So they uses us for slavery. And while they're beating the shit out of us. They don't like the black officers. When they get to a certain amount of time in the prison system, they feel like they want to advance and go higher up, like a let's say a sergeant or a lieutenant. Normally, you have to leave your jail and you have to go to Sing Sing. No, they don't want to be with no blacks. They don't want no blacks telling them what to do. So they stay in the same jail. And it's so crazy because if you get into a dispute with an officer and you want to make a complaint, you're making a complaint to the officer, I mean to the sergeant who was just an officer in the yard. You're like, come on, man, this is, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the hell? It's like I'm arguing with the same officer then. I ain't gonna get nothing done. Black Legion, see, your thing goes unanswered. And that's what they did back then. So if they killed us back then, like Black Legion, they would say it was a random attack. If they burnt down our stores, the fire department will come hours later or won't come at all. Or they kill us and you won't just hear nothing about it, not even an investigation because they're already in office. They're already in a they're already in the politics. I mean, they're already doing politics. They're already in office. They're already a governor. They're already a mayor. They doing all of this. They don't need the name Black Legion. All of these, I'm out to curse. No, because they piss me off. Because it's like you really can't trust the system at all. That's why most people when they get locked up, they cop out. Because they know they ain't gonna have a chance in hell. They plant you with this. They plant you with evidence. And the legal aid lawyers, they work for the system too. It's all the same mindset because the legal aid lawyers, look, let me just school you something. They get a whole file like this, right? They say, this is your file. And you're looking at it, you're like, God damn. And there may be 50 people you got to see that day. You ain't going through all that. You like, listen, I'm trying to get this adjourned so I can just move on. They don't care about your case. And they get paid for each case. So now, what makes it even worse, let's say they're a co-worker on the side that has a desk with them. They're not there. So now they got to take their caseload. So now they got about 50 of their own caseload, another 50 of the other caseload. They're not looking at that. They're like, hell no. Now you get in front of a racist judge. He ain't think about your damn case. Black Legion. Oh, remand. Now you back in the pen, doing your slave work, working for next to nothing for pennies. Because see, the Black Legion thing was to keep us at a disadvantage, to keep white America thriving. Because they feel like they're losing their way right now. And that's how they felt back then. Because when they didn't have any work and they didn't have anything going on, we had it all because we were skillful with our hands. We skillful. So we started taking all the jobs. Even today is happening again. You have the Mexicans and all the Spanish people taking all their jobs. Us born here, not so much because we're kind of spoiled now. We done bust our ass and fought throughout slavery and the Reconstruction. You're gonna pay us what the hell we want. You know what I'm saying? Times has changed. You know what I mean? So now these people that's coming over, they're working for next to nothing, taking all the jobs again. It's not that they're taking all the jobs, it's that white folks is giving them all the job because real white folks is not going to work for those pennies. So they use the propaganda on TV. And they say they taking all the jobs, they committing all the crimes. First of all, white folks commit more crime in this country than anybody in the world. That's a fact. But for some apparent reason, it's only people of color that's flooding the jails. Now you tell me what's going on. Who's in office? Is it Black Legion still in office? What's going on? How is it that white folks is committing more crimes in this country, but yet we're flooding the jails more? How is that white people is making it home on their parole boards, but we keep getting hit for the nature of our crime? A crime you already did. You did. I don't understand that. But that's what they want to do. They want to keep us at a disadvantage. You are some bad motherfuckers. No, for real. The history that is hidden from us, we some bad people. And I more I do research and do research, 'cause I'm always studying something. I'm always, you know, tuning into something and gearing something up, and I start building in my head. And I'm like, yo, I gotta talk about this. Because when I got right into Black Legion, I said, yo, this was crazy. As a matter of fact, this organization is so deadly, they made a movie about it. Humphrey Bogart played in there. I saw it early this morning. Because I didn't believe. I said, what? They got a movie? That's how deadly they was. It's called Black Legion. It's you should check it out. It's very good. You know, they're not like they're not like they're not like they're not like the KKKs. They're not like them at all. They are far from them. These dudes are professionals and they are highly organized. That's why I said they ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? So they have a Ku Klux Klan 160th year anniversary from 1865. That's when it started because that's when the 14th Amendment. No, no, yes, that's when the 14th Amendment kicked in for us to be citizens, right? Ain't that something? They got a law that makes us citizens. I wonder what happen if they really cancel that law out of the Constitution. Would you be a citizen still? Because that's what made you a citizen. Think about it. So yeah, they got a Ku Klux Klan 160 year anniversary, 1865 to 2025. The Trinity Rats of the Ku Klux Klan will be out celebrating the 160th of the. Look, they got to fly out and all that. Like this shit is legal. Look, but it's real. They're out there celebrating to figure out how to take this country back and how to murder you and keep you at a disadvantage. This is what they're going to be talking about. Because when you have a rally, you have an anniversary, you get together and you start networking. You start finding out who's in high places, who can get their people where they need to go. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. I must have. Maybe I need a sip of some Don Julio. What y'all think? Now I said that I'll be up here like a woo boy. I'll be flaming. But you notice I ain't been freezing. Thank you for here for the knowledge, yo, brother. I ain't freezing. but but yeah, that's how it is in DOC. Even in Attica, a lot of them was racist. If you ever seen the movie Attica, but they was treating us like dirt. They was even raping us in Attica. And them brothers out there in 1971, they couldn't take it. Man, they had a revolution and they took over the jail. Of course, what's it, John D. Rockefeller, who was the governor at that time, he said, I don't care about the officers or nothing. Shoot it up. They killed officers and everything just to get the jail back. You know? And now those who was killed in the 70s, their grandchildren became correction officers and their great grandchildren came. So that is this pure hatred up there. Yo, I've been in that jail. Let me tell you something, man. Yeah, no freezing, no nothing. That jail there is straight. We call that Ku Klux Klan County. Because when you walk in there, they tell you straight up, I don't like niggas. We tell niggas to shut up. You looking at him like, you just call me that? But you can't really do nothing. They got like 4 or 5 officers there. You already chained up, so you ain't saying shit. You ain't gonna say nothing. You gonna be quiet, like I was. Because you be a fool. And they tell you, you could kill yourselves. We don't care. We look forward to it. It's entertainment. But you touch one of us, we gonna kill you. And they have tried a lot. They have tried a lot and they have done a lot to the point where they even started their own gang called the Black Gloves. This is a whole racist unit. Black Gloves. I am not lying to you. Anybody that was in Attica in the late 90s and the early 2000s will tell you they used to walk around the Black Gloves because that was the beat 'em up squad. And they was fucking shit up left to right. And it was made it so bad you had officers in power that was doing that. And you had the black officers, they wasn't doing shit. They ain't had the power. I understand. They just staying downstate in Fishkill and they beat us up down there. That was the ill shit I never understood. Because they would do reverse racism in downstate and especially in downstate. And they would do this reverse racism stuff and they would beat the brothers up. They would even have some of the white officers oppress us. I kid you not. I came up one time, and as I'm talking to the nurse, the black officers is there, and the white officer, he come to me and he's like, when they ask you a question, you say yes, sir, no, man. I looked at this mother. I said, you talking to the wrong one. Because I done came up from Rikers Island with 1,000 years in the bang. I was already wild. I was gang banging. You got the wrong one with that. And I wasn't saying nothing. Of course, they secluded me, put me in another pen, and acted like they was going to intimidate me. But that's what they do. They try to use this intimidation tactic by having 4 or 5 white officers come. And the brothers and sisters, they don't do shit. They sit there and they watch it. Why? Because they put in a position where some of them, they're going to lose their job. They're not making that much money in the corrections. Well, in Rikers Island, they are. But see, in Rikers Island, it's a little, I don't touch up on Rikers Island too much. Although I had the badge on my thumbnail, I don't want to talk about it too much because it's predominantly mostly black officers, and they doing all the corruption down there mostly. Not too many of the whites, but the whites do control Rikers Island. They tell the black officers what to do. Black officers don't run nothing down there. They run the houses and the units they are in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have some good officers too that just from the hood that just want to do their job and they not there for that. I know some that's in my personal life that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because I never thought that I'll be hanging out with people with badges. Well, in that situation, well, this kind of situation too. I have associates that's cool with me that works for NYPD, but that doesn't mean they're walking around oppressing people. That don't mean, and I'm not in the street, so what the heck? Well, back to these officers of state in Clinton, they was remodeling the floor and they found over 50 dead skeletons under the gym floor. They try to say it was the Indian burial. So the Indians was like, oh, well, get off our land. You know what I'm saying? That stopped everything. And all of a sudden they started to admit that it was inmates that was killed. They don't know how long they was in there. We didn't get the information, but we know there was skeletons under the gym floor that they was killing blacks and getting away with it. And they doing that right now. You know, the situation with Robert Brooks. They do it like that. They handcuff you and just beat you up. And if you notice in the video, you had one of the officers that had 4 stripes. Each stripes mean he been in the prison system for 5 years. So here's an officer that been working for 20 years, and you have a sergeant on that, and he's just watching it. That's what they do. That's their life. That's what they do. And they getting away with it because there's no advertisement. Only reason why those officers went down is because right now they got body cams. Why they got body cams? Because they were just killing so much black people and getting away with it. It got crazy, and people started their own nonprofit organization. Shout out to a lot of the brothers that was in the penitentiary that went home and started nonprofit organizations and came back to reach out to the brothers and sisters in the prison system to make a way for them to come home because it's no way for us to come home. There's no rehabilitation in there. It's just a zoo. It's just a zoo in there. You hit that like button. Hit that like button, please. Hit that share button. Hit that subscribe button, please. And these officers, man, my eyes. These officers, like I said, they get away with a lot of these killings because they didn't have body cams. What actually forced it to have body cams? I was in Green. And they have a whole beat 'em up squad there. I don't talk to them. Even the dudes that was talking to them, I didn't even talk to them dudes. I'm like, man, you talking to the CEOs that does that? I don't want nothing to do with you, bro. Get away from me. So anyway, they had a guy they took out of the cell. It's 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. There's nobody outside. Everybody is in their dorms. Why is he being taken out? They said he had a call out. What call out? Every nurse and everybody that works that's not in the CO uniform is going home at 5 o'clock. What call out you going to? I don't know what he did. I don't know what happened, but they took him out, took him to the gym, beat him to death. They didn't see him, right? Nobody saw him no more after that, right? So the guys in the dorm that knew him decided to call his peoples. They go through his property, find whatever, and they call his peoples. His people start calling the jail and tell me he's all right. He's all right. He's good. Like he's good, then why he not calling me? We don't know. We don't know. We'll let him know to call you. He's not calling. So they decided to drive up there. They want to see him. Now they stuck. They start saying, oh, he's not here. He's in the hospital. He had an incident. Where's the hospital? They went to the hospital. The hospital said, we don't got him. He's still at the jail. They hide in the body. They trying to come up with their story because everybody already saw them leave the dorm. They took him out. These racist COs in the DOC. All of them. I don't know, majority of them. Okay. So eventually they get the body, right? They try to tell her, oh, we already did the autopsy. She said, no, I'm gonna do my own autopsy. Let alone, of course, he was beaten to death. And this is what they do. So Cardi B and all her associates and other families, they was out there protesting outside the jail. This is what caused the prison system to get the body cams. Now the officers that's racist that does the beat 'em up squad, they don't want to do the beat 'em up squad no more. They don't want to work there. Why? Because they're on body cam. So now these dickheads and Marcy thought they was going to get away with the body cams because see what happens is in DOC, they take the body cams before releasing it to the public. They try to doctor it. They try to cover their asses. But see, that video was too crazy. They couldn't even cover it up. They said somebody got to go for it. Uh Just like the guy that killed George Floyd, I forgot his name, and I shouldn't have forget his name. That devil, but the brother, excuse me, the white dude that killed George Floyd, same thing, same thing. He had a body cam on too. People had their cameras on him, and he didn't care. He was like, "What? The Black Legion, that mindset, because he know I'm gonna get off this. Everybody in the police department is gonna hold me down." Even the rookies, they didn't want to do nothing because remember I said good cop, bad cop. That's why he able to do that. That's why they move like that. And he had body cam on. That's how cocky they are. That's how strong racism is in the police department, in the Department of Correction. This is law enforcement, period. And politics, period. That's why I don't deal with none of that voting or that garbage. For what? You already got everything that you need. What do you need to vote for them for? You need to vote for them. So that's how it is going down in the prison system. That's how it's going down in law enforcement, and that's how it's going down on the streets. Especially these racist corporations, like they saying Amazon and everything. And real quick, I don't. When I said that striking for 24 hours is a waste of time, it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I disagree with what you're doing because what you're doing is showing that what you can do, what you have the potential to do. So when you have a trust me, they're gonna see their market go down on buys. They're gonna be like, oh shit, they really listening to each other now. That becomes a problem. So that's cool. But I think you got to do something more bigger. That ain't nothing because they're gonna still get our money the next day. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny too. I'll tell you about some corrupted stuff on with the officers, right? See, on in DOC, these white officers, they don't make next to nothing. You know, as someone that I know definitely that works in Fishkill, New York, don't make shit. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a child, no children, cool. You know, they making about $15 an hour. That ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have no children, you cool. But if you have children, you in trouble. You really working minimum wage now. You in trouble. And on top of that, you always got to have gas money because driving to those prisons where you at, it costs. So a lot of these officers, they get upset and they start beating dudes down, right? Because they got what they got going on, whatever they got going on at home. So you gotta understand something, right? A lot of them also move like this with the racism. It's because when you as a CO and you working in DOC, they tell you this. You may work for 30 years before you retire, right? Out of that 15 years or more, you are considered being an inmate. You're locked up. You got to put your phone up. You ain't got no service. you in the same cage. Well, not inside the cell personally, but you down there and you in the jail. And then you get stuck because now you trying to get home. You getting off at 3, and then you're the B officer because the B officers on the gallery and the A officers is in the bubble. The A officers never really come out the bubble, especially if the B officer is getting killed by an inmate. Why? Because he has the keys. No, they train him this. No, you die by yourself. He just pulls the pin. He'd be like, damn, you messed up. King, I was just talking about this. Upstate CO don't make nothing. If they have children, it's a wrap. They will be struggling, especially if they are a single parent. Yeah, especially if a single parent. That's why I'm up in child support. They don't make nothing. They don't make shit. And this is why a lot of them start doing things that's corrupted. You know what I'm saying? They tell you this in the academy, and they tell you this as a police in the police academy. Don't never give them nothing. If you give them a gun, a gum, a piece of gum, you'll give them a gun because that's how it starts. It starts from a piece of gum, then it starts from cigarettes. I know people personally, they don't think it's a problem. They buy cigarettes and they bring it on a job and they use people to slave for them, their own kind. Yeah, I bought you some two cigarettes. I want you to clean this with bleach. I mop the wall. I mean, clean the walls and all that. That's slavery shit they do. So what they do is they smuggle it inside, which is illegal. They commit crime to go get their stuff clean. Some backward shit, but that's what they do. And then eventually they see how easy it is because when they walk in there, they gotta have this stab proof vest. You see what I'm saying? So it's easy to hide like cigarettes or pouches of tobacco and stuff like that. And they clear the metal detector. Now they have to have clear water bottles. I remember we used to have the CO used to put vodka in the bottles, in the water bottles, and they go through the mag. You wouldn't know because it looks like water. He would just say, "Yo, give me the bottle back." Because if something happened and they do a search and they find that bottle in my cell, they're gonna be like, "How the hell you get liquor?" And this ain't no hooch. This is liquor. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna look at the COs. So this is what they do, and they start moving drugs. This is why a lot of them get caught up in drugs. A lot of them get caught up in sex. So you got a lot of dudes up there, they living good. They living with their silk sheets and all that. You know what I mean? They can't enjoy it out in the streets, so they figure, hey, this is my life, so I'm gonna live like a king in here. And they gonna try to enjoy life the best way they know how. And that goes on definitely more on Rikers Island than more than anything because they from the hood, you from the hood. They know mostly a lot of people that's in the building. You know what I'm saying? Because they all from everybody in New York City works there. So when they come there, they may know me. I may know them. Yo, what's up? I've seen that happen a few times. And this is how things happen. I start making money. But sometimes I don't like dealing with them like that. That's what made me stop that my last time dealing with them on that level. Because what happens is they start smuggling drugs for everybody. Because you got to understand something. See on Rikers Island, they get money, but it's more easy to get illegal money because you will have what is called what? Some tobacco. Let's say you go to the store and you buy a pouch of tobacco. That's like $200 in there. He's buying it for probably what, $10? So he may have the prisoner say, yo, I need to buy some tobacco. Yo, you got to give me $50. He like, damn, $50? Hey, I'm bringing it in and I'm smuggling. All right, this is what they do because they're not getting paid that much, especially if you're a rookie at first. You definitely ain't getting paid that much, and you're not getting the weekends off, and you working weekdays, and you might get stuck. So you can get some overtime, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So they start smuggling this stuff. So I had to do it. He was his name was Mac. He worked in C95. I can talk about this now because Mac got caught up and went to the feds. And what he did was he got caught up and he got a dope habit because anybody been in C95 knows that's a dope fiend jail. And he got caught up sniffing dope and he started bringing everything in. I'm talking about it, yo, this is what they do upstate New York. But look, they bring it in and they will put it in some garbage bag, depending if they work the visit. Right. This guy worked the visit. So what I would do is my lady would go in the bathroom. lift the garbage up, put it inside the garbage, and put the bag over it. And then he will go in the bathroom, take it out, put it in his pocket, and then go into the visit room. Now I got a package because I know what I'm getting. So after the visit, I would leave, go to the package room after, because he know everybody on that's on the floor is leaving, so he know I'm coming. I would go to the package room, make a bullshit scribble sign, get my package, and the drugs will be in the package. Now I'm walking the halls with the drugs in the package. I ain't stashing it. Why? Because I'm coming off the package. You see the big bag. You ain't gonna search me. That's how I used to do it. But he got caught up, man, and he caught a habit. But this goes on upstate. And this goes on a lot more with white dudes because they don't want black people to have that much authority over Caucasian inmates. They get the better jobs. They get better everything. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to drugs and everything, they work with them and they give them all the drugs. And guess what? They come and sell it to us. Yo, this crazy in here. This is what goes on. That's what I say, man. This whole world, the way we see it, is not the way it is. There's a whole lot of layers to this world, this society, and it's covered up with bullshit constitution laws and laws that contradict the Constitution. It's all a mind game. That's why I don't deal with it. I just expose it. I expose it, let y'all hear it, and then y'all make your own judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it can keep us distracted. So we don't get a chance to get this information. We don't get a chance to research. Perfect example. I heard Dick Gregory say this. How many hours is in a day? 24, right? Okay. 24 hours in a day. You go to work, right? You go to work. So your hours are starting. You work 8 hours. Might get stuck. You work 16 hours. You go home. You can't do nothing else. You tired, you dead to the world. You can't check no homework, no nothing. You can't even cook. Shit. By that time, you done forgot how to cook. Everybody's eating out. We all getting big because we eating out. We all getting high blood pressure and diabetes and everything. Now, because you too tired. Now you go to sleep. How many hours is that? You got to get back up. So most of the time, you working. They got us slaving on the plantation more than sleeping. Ain't that something? You never thought about that, right? I heard him say that. I said, damn, he got a point. Damn, 24 hours in a day. So if you sleep in 8, you go to work 8, and you might get caught with another 16, then you going home. You ain't got no time in life. Only time you really get to enjoy yourself is when you're on a vacation. And I know how that feel because I remember when I was working and I was working overtime a lot, I did that because I didn't want to go home to my baby mother. Right? I worked. Yeah, I was man. I wanted to work. I was taking all overtimes. By the time I come home, I'm dead to the world. By the time the weekend come, I don't want to go nowhere. All I want to do is sleep. All I want to do is relax in the bed. So by the time Saturday come, you chill, you all in the bed, you relax. Then Sunday come, you like this. Damn, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do that because once Monday hit, you can't do nothing else. It's just like they just trying to kill us. Y'all all right out there? All right, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'll be holding y'all too long sometimes. I'm gonna enjoy myself, roll up and everything. But you damn can subscribe. So I know how to work this thing. Ain't gonna be no more freezing. Ain't gonna be none of that. I got everything that I need. So we gonna keep doing what we doing. So I'm gonna get it like 5 minutes. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give it 2 minutes. Cut it down to 2 minutes. And if you got any questions that need to be answered, or you want me to talk about anything real quick, let me know before I sign out. I can't believe these dudes has actually got a flyer. It's in Kentucky, the Ku Klux Klan. These devils got a phone number on here and everything. They got address, but you know what? They're gonna say it's legal because it's legal to hold public rallies. But when we came with our not giving a fuck attitude with our guns that's legal, they had an issue with it. But what's going on in society? What's going on? Diddy lawyers is has this retired from his case. Yeah, it's all over social media. I just seen this. Okay, okay, okay. Damn, it's all over social media. Them brothers from the militia should pull up because you know what? When they went to do it was a meeting that the Ku Klux Klan was supposed to have in Stone Mountain, right? This is where they started the Klan. This is where they hold their rallies and everything. This is matter of fact, when they do their anniversary, this is where they going to Stone Mountain. And black militia went up there. It's like, yeah, tell them we here. We gonna be here. They stood out there all day with their guns. Tell them we here on your turf. The police try to come out. We got a license. Shut up. First Amendment. We got a right to exercise our right. Police shut the hell up. Said we dealing with small black. Plus they was out there 80 deep. You wasn't doing nothing to these brothers. And they had sisters there too. So don't think it's just men out there you gotta worry about. Oh, the sisters give it up too. You know the sisters give it up. Shit, they give us hell. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you seen it too. Oh, okay, okay, okay. But yeah, man, they, I'm surprised the militia ain't go up there. They probably go up there tomorrow. It might be a big thing. Just to crash they shit. You know what I'm saying? Just to crash they shit. Just to make it a news appearance that yeah, we pulling up. So anytime y'all do this, we gonna clash. Yeah, it's gonna go down one day. It's gonna go down one day. Because now all whites are suckers, and you have whites that has white militias too. You know, they don't do the social media like that. Although I seen them on YouTube. Let's go check them out. They be practicing um how to fire their guns in the woods. They do their training. You know, they got their kids 7, 8 years old with 25s and 32s learning how to shoot. But the thing is, like Bruce Lee said, boys don't hit back. You know what I'm saying? So it's great to do target practice and all that because God already installed it in us to do target practice on ourselves by the age of 13. We've been militiaing since teenagers, killing each other. And I'm not putting it on God and saying that God is allowing us. Well, let me say that again. I'm not saying that God is actually designing us to kill one another, but for some reason he's allowing it. And we we have been doing target practice for so many decades to the point where we're bad, but we're a little bit good at it because we know how to do guerrilla warfare. Look at these young kids, man. They're walking around with masks on all the way from their head to their toes. You can't see the goddamn face. All you see is this. That's what you see. They have a right. They need to work on their little shooting, but they actually on school this. They know what they know their community. So if white militias come into this community, they done. And these little bloodhound brims and all these kids will go crazy. Yo, let me tell you something. Real funny story. I was in Sing Sing, right? And it was this white dude. He had a real bald head, right? And he had the biggest tattoo on the side of his head. It said Nazi, right? We seen this, we was like, he ain't gonna last. He came into a 95% all black CO jail. Man, they set him up within a week. He was first thing smoking out of there. I was like, wow. I told one officer, I said, yeah, man, I heard about the white dude. He was like, hey, they do it to us, we do it to them. I ain't say nothing because I don't co-sign and stuff like that. But I was just like, hey, I hear you, man. You know what I'm saying? Where do the black military? I'm spelling that right. It's all right, man. I know what you mean. Or where they be oh man, give me a second. I believe it's in Nashville. I believe. I'm not sure because I know in Nashville they have the National Rifle Association. Those are ones that be financing the politicians on the gun laws. Like you need them. If you trying to make stricter gun laws, they'll pull out on you. So they have a black version. Now that the National Rifle Association, they have the white militias that's down with them. So I don't really know specifically what state, but I know they in different states. But I'm gonna see. I'm gonna check something out right now. Mm, two largest militia are Oath Keepers and the Three Percenters. There are numerous smaller groups. Um, who has the strongest militia in the world? The United States of America. Well, that makes sense. That's a white militia group right there for me. They said the strongest militia in the world. You know Google lying, right? Google. Well, United States do not have the strongest militia in the world because every time they go to war, they over there crying, talking about they want to come back home. But to answer your question again here for the knowledge, yeah, they're in different states, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't really advertise like that, not like the Klan. They don't do public rallies and the clans, the Klan, a lot of them, a lot of them is a joke. They trying to keep that thing going alive. The Klan ain't what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? They still have power, but they're losing their power. They're mostly right now is set tripping on each other. Because what happens is they kind of changed their way of life to a degree. In other words, what I'm saying is that if you want to be down with them, you have to pay a monthly fee where it goes to the Grand Wizard. So the Grand Wizard, he doesn't even have a job. He's living off everybody's money. He's telling them he's using it for the club or whatever they got going on. And I know that because a lot of them retired from the Ku Klux Klan claiming this. It's like, yo, they're mismanaging money, they're stealing money, they're using our hate against us. This is Klan talking. They look good on TV. But let me ask you something, what they actually doing, really? No, seriously. We know what they was doing in the 60s and the 1800s, late 1800s and all that. What were they doing now? What are they doing now? All I see is them is cleaning some good silk sheets and they putting it over their body like they're on a Vogue magazine and they go hold a public rally. You know they ain't doing shit. They clothes are so clean. Like where what kind of work you been putting in? They be brand new, like they got it out the cleaners. Come on, they ain't doing nothing. But I won't never sleep on them because not all of them is like that. I'm sure somebody out there is doing it because sometimes we wake up in the morning, we hear a black kid got hanged. You know what I'm saying? We hear a black kid in the school, his organs was missing. He dumped under the bleachers in the gym, stuff like that. You where because that's what the Black Legion does. They kill in the shadows. That was always their mindset. That tactic has never left. So you have some that's still around. You have some that they probably don't even call themselves like that. They may call it something else. They may just deal with secret societies as itself. Because that was the model. That's where they came. Most of them came from anyway. A lot of them, you know. But yeah, man, you just gotta be on point, man, and watch these people, man. I try to stay out their way. You know what I'm saying? I try not to do no crime and get locked up because I'm not trying to put myself back in that situation where you eating no real food and it's hard for you as hell to get out of jail. I don't want to put myself back in that situation where they got to read off things I did in 1991. 1991? I don't even know, man. They are big in ATL and Kentucky. Oh, okay, okay. Well, I know Kentucky. Kentucky's mostly like uh it's most like their headquarters, although it was founded in the South, it's mostly actually no, actually it was founded in Kentucky, but it would grew and populated more in the South because that's where they do their anniversary at. It's Stone Mountain, you know. So, they know about us, man. They watching us. We have an army. We just don't know it because we don't have no power to advertise it. This is why they had to get rid of BET. Cause BET News, man, yo, BET News. I don't know if some of y'all remember, yo, they used to give it up. This is the only time I ever saw black people that actually was watching the news when BET News came. But when BET News put on the news, they didn't put on regular news. They had to get BET out of there. They gave them 3 billion. They said, "Hey, as soon as they sold, the first thing that went was the news." information, knowledge, gone. Then they colored it up because it was a little too dark. They made it all bright. And then the co-hosts, AJ and Free, they got rid of them. They was too dark. They put the light brown skin and Roxy in there that looked real light. They changed it all up. Light, bright, and damn near white. And what happened to that? We stopped watching BET. I'm saying? What's that? They need it in NYC so I can join War. They need it in there. But I want them brothers be on point though, man. But like I said, they working class. I don't know what it is that they're exactly doing, but they have to be on point because the feds is gonna come for them. You know what I'm saying? They came for all our celebrities. Angie Stone just passed away. She was on her podcast. She said Universal robbed her all her rights. All these years, she didn't even know her royalties were stolen. So that means they probably was giving spoon feeding her because they control the music. You know what I'm saying? Caucasians, racist Caucasians, they control the music. They don't want no conscious stuff going out like that. They controlled her money. And then all of a sudden, she said she got stabbed with a needle and she had toxic in her blood, which she had fainted, and this was she found out. She knew they was trying to kill her, and she made a podcast about it. And then right after that, a couple of weeks later, she get in a car crash and she's dead. Ain't that what happened to Princess Diana? Talk back to me. She said she was going to do a tell-all book and she was going to marry the Arab and have babies. She was going to dilute the bloodline. She was gone. Car crash. Killed her and her fiance. Michael Jackson, Prince. Come on, man. It's all the same thing. It's all about control. They need to control us. But I'm here to tell you that it ain't going to work too long. As a matter of fact, it ain't working right now because the control that they have on us is they're losing it as the time go on. They're losing it more and more and more. Donald Trump, he's really solidifying it right now. I love him. No, I do. Because he's telling us our racism and I mean he's telling his racism in our face. And it's funny because years ago, he was always talking about what black people. He has a video that says black people have more advantages than whites in this country. That's what he said. He said this 30 years ago. He had no grades. I said, what? I had to watch it like 4 or 5 times because I was trying to understand where he was coming from. I said, wait a minute, what do you mean by we have? But he's right. He's right. We created everything in this country. We make more money in this country. If we put our minds to it, we can overthrow this shit in 1 year. We have an advantage, but we just don't stick together. That's our disadvantage. Because if we had an advantage of sticking together, man, black community, we be moving whites out. You can't stay here. Go over there. Oh, that's racism. You don't say it to the Jews, don't say it to us. You don't say it to Chinatown, don't say it to us. Get out. They buy us out. They did that to me and my wife, or actually to my wife. When I first met her, excuse me, I can't say, always say we, because we always do we things together. But they wanted to move her out. They gave her extra money. And she was like, all right, cool, no problem. I want to leave here anyway. But they just did that because they wanted to buy the property. That's how they get us. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, hit that like button. All right. So, with that being said, I'm going to tune out. I'm going to tune out. I want y'all to know I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the truth. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for listening. You know what I'm saying? Now I'll make sure I got everything complete. Ain't gonna be no mishaps and no stuffs, no froze. Ain't none of that going on. Gotta get some new equipment though. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, peace and blessings. God bless y'all and your family. I'll speak to y'all again. Y'all have a good night. Later.